Aloha. Good afternoon. This is Andrew Aloha Live out of Flagstaff, Arizona with Spiritual Illness Productions on Facebook Live. Aloha and welcome to today's update with Andrew Aloha, myself, and I in Spiritual Illness Productions. There's been a lot of stuff going on, a lot of weird stuff going on for, if you ask me, but that's what. First of all, I want to take a moment, and I just found this out, just literally, just like as I was putting this together, that Stanton Friedman, a longtime UFO, how would you say, a longtime UFO researcher, investigator, I think is probably good work. I believe he's an engineer, and he's done a lot of lectures and workshops, and I think workshops on UFO activity. And apparently, I believe last night, I guess he was flying in from somewhere, and I don't know if he had a heart attack or whatever, but something happened, and he didn't make it home, I guess. So, I want, I want to go ahead and take a moment to acknowledge him, and also Doris Day. I don't know why. I didn't remember, but I think I'm going to go ahead and put that in. And I just found out, what, a couple of days ago, that she, I believe they said she was 99 years old. Wow. I didn't even know she was still alive. I thought she had already passed on. But Stanton Friedman did come to me just a few minutes ago, and every Wednesday I do the transmission meditation group, and so he asked to join the group. I don't know. I waited to see if Doris Day wanted to, and she didn't really express any interest in doing the transmission meditation. So maybe she's got her own thing going on or something like that. So I'm going to go ahead and take a moment and just to acknowledge these people. So and may they rest in peace, of course, and blessings along their path, and just acknowledgement. So just for a moment, I'm going to go ahead and take a time out. And we're back. Again, may you both rest in peace, and may you be blessed along the path, and farewell. And I also want to take the time, and I just found this out as well. I'm actually kind of surprised and intrigued at the same time. JLaw and her new fiance, Cooke Maroney, apparently they had an engagement party last weekend, just last weekend, I believe in New York, in her, I don't know if it was her apartment or somebody else's apartment, but anyhow, they had a get together with close knit family and friends, and celebrated there. So that's going to be interesting to see how that's all going to work out. With the track record that JLaw, Jennifer Lawrence, has with men partners, it's going to be interesting to see how that's going to work out. And maybe it'll work out well, and things will be perfect. So that'll be good. That'll be good. And if she does, she needs somebody to help balance her out, and to really get grounded, I believe is a good word. And so I think she's she's got a lot of Scorpio in her chart. I think, if I remember right, and if I'm correct, if that is correct, then the best thing for her is to have kids. I mean, pretty much Scorpio women, they go on these wild streaks, and they have a hard time staying grounded because they got so much sexual energy. I think is a good word. Going on, and they can't it's hard for them to really stay still, right? So one of the best things for them to help them do that is to have at least one or two kids, like right away, right? So I don't know if that's what's going to happen, but I remember I had a girlfriend out in Southern California, and her daughter, I believe, was Scorpio, had a lot of Scorpio, and I told her, I told her the same thing, and she did. I think she's got 3 or 4 kids now, and I don't know, how she's doing, because we parted ways, and I haven't talked to her in a while, but I'm assuming she's doing probably better than she was prior to, is my guess. So at least I hope so. I think it would be safe to say that she's probably doing better there. Now, this next item up for grabs is Archie Harrison Mountbatten and Jean Attell Fischer. I want to congratulate Prince Harry and Duchess Meghan and Amy Fisher. Amy Fisher? I don't know. I don't think she's going by Amy Fisher, but I wanted to congratulate Amy Schumer, who all just had kids. The Prince Harry and Duchess Meghan's kid, his name is Archie Harrison, and then Amy Fisher, or I don't know why, maybe she is going to change her name, but anyhow, Amy Schumer's kid, his name is Jean Attell Fischer. So I want to congratulate. They were both born. Now, interesting enough, they were both born on the same day, which was May 6th. May 6th? I thought it was May 6th. Yeah, May 6th, which is a week ago yesterday, I believe. And so I thought that baby, that the Prince and Duchess baby was going to be born later than that, but it didn't happen that way. It happened last week. So anyhow, so I contemplated this, and I thought about it. So hang on a second. Time out. I forgot to grab my ephemeris. Time out. I thought about whether or not I should do a reading on this. Well, at first I thought about Archie, and then all of a sudden here comes Jean. So basically, this reading will entail both of these guys. They're both going to go through very similar, very same lifestyle. I mean, I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but people, even classmates that I had in high school have gone through a lot of similar or same stuff as I have over the years. And if you talk to them, and compare notes, it's very true. And a lot of them don't even realize it, but they have a lot of same stuff going on. So now the difference between the two, and here, let me go to May 6th. Let me mark this down. Archie and Jean. Now, the thing that will actually make the difference between the two is their soul evolvement, the amount of evolution they've gone through as souls and not just as personalities. That will make the difference. And yeah, maybe the time could make a difference, but one being born in the morning and the other being born at night, Archie will probably be one of those early bird persons that like to get up in the morning and do everything before 10 o'clock, right? Get all his business done before 10 o'clock in the morning, right? But Gene, on the other hand, will be a night owl. He's probably a good candidate for being a comedian, just like his mom. I can probably bet you money that would be the case. Maybe I'm wrong, but I would venture to say it depends on whether or not they got Sagittarius in their chart. So I'm looking at their chart, and again, they were both born on the same day, on Monday last week, and they're both going to be very stubborn people, and they're both going to be people that like to physically be active physically, plant a garden, do walking, exercise, all kinds of stuff like that. I have a feeling that Archie and maybe even Gene, but probably Archie more than Gene, will probably, just like his dad, go into the military. His dad is really an amazing, what would you say? I want to say humanitarian, maybe is a good word. But I think that Archie will be just like his dad. I think that's what's going to happen. Let me see. Now, oh, okay. So this will be interesting. Emotionally wise, Archie will keep things in. He's got a Taurus, just like his sun sign. And both Gene and Archie are their sun sign is Taurus. Their moon sign is now Archie's moon sign is Taurus, so he'll be very stubborn to keep things inside. And I would encourage Prince Harry and Duchess Meghan to get him to stay open with his emotions and feelings, to really get him to express his emotions and feelings regularly, because if he doesn't, there's a good possibility he'll develop cancer over the years later on in life. And I don't think that would be good, healthy for him to keep things bottled up. In the meantime, now Gene has got a Gemini moon instead of a Taurus moon, and that he'll express his emotions and feelings pretty regularly. He'll want to talk about his emotions and feelings all the time. In fact, there's a possibility he could even become or be bisexual or be gay further down the road. I don't know. Usually men or males with Gemini in their chart a lot of times end up being gay or bisexual. Typically, if it's especially like it's in the sun, if sun sign is Gemini or their Venus or the Mars or Gemini, they tend to be gay is what I've discovered over the years. So now they're both their north nodes are Cancer retrograde. So innately they are destined to be nurturers. And it's not something that's going to come to them really easily. They're going to have to work at it, and they're probably, but it'll be worth it for them to do so. So further down the road, they'll be very nurturing people, and I would caution both of their parents to really support them, because if not, it's possible they might even commit suicide further down the road, like in the years to come. And I'm not saying right away, and I'm not saying that's 100% um, accurate, but I think there is a possibility that they could do that. Now Venus, oh my God, their Venus, both their Venuses are in Aries, which means they're going to really want to wear the pants in the family. But there's two types of Aries people. The first one, and they you can hire either or the other, and they'll both get the job done. It's just how they get the job done that will make the difference. The first type of Aries is very arrogant, very pushy, aggressive, arrogant, and they're very egotistical. And again, they'll get the job done. Now the other one, the second type of Aries, and Archie really has is really lined up to be a diplomat further down the road. It's very possible he could be king in the years to come. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all. But even if not, he'll become a really amazing, awesome diplomat if the parents support him in that direction. Otherwise, he could be getting in a lot of trouble, and that wouldn't be good. And again, Gene could be the same way as well, as long as the parents support him in that direction, in that type of arena. So now the difference again between the egotistical Aries and the diplomatic Aries is listening skills. Now this is what I recommend the parents to do with them, is to work with them on developing paraphrasing capabilities. I don't know if you know what paraphrasing is, but if you don't know what it is, I would definitely recommend looking it up. It's just repeating what other people say to you, so that way they can make sure they whatever is being told to them is accurate, and they're hearing what they're saying and not just listening to what they're saying. So I would really work with those kids, both those kids, on listening skills. I mean, like no tomorrow. Now, both of them have Mercury in Aries as well, along with, but on the cusp with Taurus. So basically, they have equal amount of energies coming in, filtering through. That has to do with how they vocalize themselves, the vocal qualities of how they sound. You know, sometimes they might sound very stubborn to people, and sometimes they might sound very pushy and aggressive or diplomatic. But and I don't know, maybe that you might want to get braces for these kids. Maybe you might want to. I don't know. I don't know that they would have any problems with the voice or consoles or anything like that when as they get older. But those are the things that you want to consider and look at just in case, because that way you can be ahead of the game and be able to help them again be supportive of their efforts. Now their Mars is in Gemini, and which means that they will have a tendency to want to read at night all the time. I can almost guarantee, especially Archie, he will, or take it back, Gene. They'll both probably like to read a lot, be scientific, study stuff a lot. They will study stuff for hours. So, and when they talk to you, they'll look at your nose, they'll look at your eyes and eyebrows, they'll look at all the little details of your face while you're talking to them. right? It's like that. So they will want to be, they will want to do PR. So both of them probably will end up doing PR one way or another sooner or later about something or another. And the sooner you get them on doing PR, learning how to do PR, I think the better for both of them. So either way, and again, they might have gay tendencies, but you know, it is what it is. It's who they are. Just let them be who they are, whatever the situation is, whether they are not. That's the point. Now, oh, and there it is. I knew it. Jupiter is in Sagittarius, retrograde, which means it's going backwards, and it's working against them instead of for them. So they're both going to be probably healers. If you don't know what Reiki is, if you don't know what love stream is, or you know, they could be doctors. They could become doctors. It's a possibility. I don't know that it's necessary for them to be a doctor, but it's a possibility, and it wouldn't be a bad choice if they wanted to do that. But they can also be comedians. Oh my God, they could be funny as a crush, right? And so just like Amy, they'll have you laughing in stitches, but it'll be really healing for you though. If they're sitting there and making you laugh, it's probably because you need to laugh, because you need some healing laugh, right? And so it's like that. But they need a lot of room to play too. They don't just like to play in little confined little areas. They need to go and hiking, they do biking, swimming, running, bicycling. I mean, and chances are these kids are probably indigo or crystal kids, very evolved beings, very psychic. So if I'm correct, which I think I am, don't staunch their psychic ability. Don't do that, because it's not gonna help them any more at all if you do. So it's best to let them develop their psychic abilities. They're very creative. They have a lot of talent. And I just wonder, especially if I'm correct about being a indigo or crystal kid, and there's a lot of information about crystal kids and indigo kids out there. So you can look that up if you want. So it's like that. Now, their Saturn is in Capricorn, retrograde, 20 degrees. Now, typically, when somebody has Capricorn, Saturn in Capricorn, they're very famous. They become pretty famous somehow or another. But it's retrograde, which means fame is not going to come to them, and it's not going to be just handed to them. And it's very possible that they can be very popular, very famous people, but it's not going to be handed to them. They're going to have to really, really work at their diplomatic skills, the communication skills, and really, really learn how to deal with people in a very, very what's the word? Diplomatic way, I guess. We can leave it at that. But it's much more than just being a diplomat. You know, you can be a diplomat all you want, but if you don't know if you don't have people skills, they may not matter at all, right? Stuff like that. Now, interesting enough, the Uranus is in Taurus as well for both of them, which means they're probably going to be fighting themselves. Literally, these two kids are going to have a hard time because they may not believe in themselves. So it's really important that the parents give them a lot of support. Because the more support that you can give them, the more likely that they will be successful. And that's what you want. And I mean, this is true with any parent and kid out there. I've discovered a lot of times, you know, they're supposed to go through a lot of shit and go through a lot of hell and high water as kids. But if the parents are really supportive and help them, they hardly either phase any of that when they're younger, or it's very minimal. But what happens is, a lot of the stuff, a lot of the shit they're supposed to go through during kids, it comes back to them when they're older, but they're more prepared when they're older anyhow. So it's better for them to go through it while they're older. So, you know, that's fine. So again, these kids, have you ever heard of the phrase, getting out of your own way? That's like really want to think about, consider with these guys. They'll get in their own way, but they'll learn, they'll learn how to get in their own, out of their way. No blaming, no complaining, no not lies, no threats, no name calling. And then be productive, be creative, be of service, be appreciative, and what was the other one? Be productive, creative, of service, appreciative, and supportive of yourself and each other. That if you work with those guidelines, it doesn't matter what kind of karma, what kind of crap you're supposed to go through in this lifetime, you'll sail right through it. It'll just be a piece of cake, right? And again, we're just talking about the personality chart right now, and I'm going to go into the soul charts in a couple minutes. Oh wow, their Neptune is in Pisces, which means these guys really are going to be really psychic, and they are. They're going to be really, really. That's what's going to turn them on. That's what's going to really, really inspire them is the paranormal, or the clergy. But they're probably going to see ghosts. They're probably going to talk to ghosts. Who knows? I don't know what all their abilities are going to be or are, but they're going to deal a lot with the, and that's going to be, if you want them to be really creative, that's going to be one of the best ways to tap into their creative ability. Just start talking about the paranormal and see what happens. You'll see what I'm talking about. Their Pluto is in Capricorn, again, retrograde. They have a lot of transformation, transcendence concerning technology, politics, money, anything about it has to do with moving mountains, with law enforcement, with anything that has to do with Capricorn. So again, and it's not going to be just come to them, these transformations, but they're going to have to work at it. And it's not that they can't or they're going to be a downer. It's just a matter of applying yourself. Again, no blaming, no complaining, no lies, no threats, no name calling. Be productive, be creative, be of service, be appreciative, and be supportive, and you'll be fine. If anything else, go and purchase my book, the 90-Day Ascension Journey. It's on Amazon. It's on Kindle, and I have it on sale for 99 cents on Kindle. That will help, and that will actually be really helpful for these guys in the years to come as they get older. That book itself. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with Archie, and then we're going to go into Jean. I'm going to look at their soul life purposes, their soul chart, and see how that goes. And let me see. Okay. So what I'm getting is the soul chart date for Archie is September 18th. September 18th, 2000. What? Wait, what? Is that right? Yeah, September 18th, 2018. Really? All right. So that's, you can take this with a grain of salt. His sun sign is Virgo. It's very critical that you don't critique him all the time. You offer suggestions for him to do stuff to change or whatever, change their communications or whatever. But don't be critical, because if you do, it's going to really, really have an effect on him. That's not going to be good. His moon sign is in Capricorn. So this guy, he's not going to be able to sit still. He's definitely an indigo or crystal kid, probably. I'm sure of it. He's not going to be able to. He'll probably ride a motorcycle and do these jumps with the motorcycle like out of this world. And you're going to go, oh, what are you doing? You're going to be freaking out, but that's besides the point. His north node is in Leo. He'll be good with kids. He'll work. In fact, he'll work with probably a lot of kids, but also music. So he'll work. He'll be involved with in the entertainment industry somehow or another. And if you want to do him a favor, get him some guitar lessons and some piano lessons. Probably one of the best things you can do for him that will really help him along his way. If you really want to help bless this kid, Archie, you're gonna want to really, really get him some piano lessons and some singing lessons and some guitar lessons. And it'll really be helpful for him so that he can sing and play for kids to help them process stuff. So it'll be a really good idea. His Mercury is in Virgo. Oh. And his Venus is in Virgo. So, have you ever heard of a cold-hearted bitch? Oh my God, it's gonna be like that for this kid. He probably. Oh wait, no, I take it back. His Venus is in Scorpio. His Mercury sign, his voice quality, vocal quality, is in Virgo. So yoga, a lot of exercising, a lot of working out. A lot of yoga or Tai Chi would be really, really good for this kid to really calm those nerves. And again, just like for women, probably getting married and having kids at a younger age or early age is probably going to be a good idea for this kid. I mean, even if he gets married at 18 or 19 or 20, that's going to be probably the best thing for him. I kid you not. So I would really, really, really work with him in terms of developing good social skills and relationship skills, but particularly with women. I don't know that this guy's going to be gay. I don't think so. Maybe bi, but I don't even think bi. But anything's possible. His Mars is in Aquarius. He's going to want to really, really be a social bug. But also creative. Giving him a camera to go and explore his creative ability, and that way you can see what he's seeing in terms of life and creativity is going to be one of the best things you can do for his kid. His Jupiter is in Scorpio. Again, a lot of healing through sexuality, but if he channels, he helps him channel that in a good, healthy way. Yoga, running, exercising, walking, biking, even tantra if you want to go that route. But if you can just work with him and really getting him to balance his physical energies, literally physical energies and emotional energies, I think that's going to be the best thing for him. Because otherwise, he could spin out of control, and you are not going to want to deal with that, especially at the level that you're in right now. You're definitely not going to want to do that. And here it is. If saying that this guy really, really evolves and taps into his soul and really connects with his soul and his higher self, and if this guy really, really becomes a true diplomat, he'll be famous, world famous, and he'll be very popular. And yeah, probably with the women, but again, not just any women will he want to hook up with. He's going to be very, very. I believe he's going to be pretty discriminating in terms of the type of women and that he hangs out with and so forth. So, and that'll be good for him, for all of you guys. His Uranus is in as he evolves more and more and taps into his soul chart stuff. Things are going to get easier for him. Probably life will be easier for him, and he'll deal with stuff differently than he would otherwise, and it'll be better for him. Uranus will be in Taurus retrograde, which means he won't have to deal with as many fears as he had been. Well, let me see. Uranus was in Taurus, but direct. So if he taps into his soul chart stuff more and more, things will be easier and the fears will go away. They will subside as time goes on. Neptune is also in Pisces retrograde again, and so all the ghosts that he'll deal with, all the paranormal stuff, will begin to wane, and he'll be much better at it, or the paranormal stuff will begin to filter out, and he won't have to deal with it as much, or he will deal with it in a lot differently and a lot better. So it'll probably be better for him. But it won't be as inspiring for him as it was when he was younger. In speaking, Pluto is in Capricorn. Again, both times Pluto is in Capricorn retrograde. So the transformations and transcendence concerning technology, politics, money, law enforcement, and so forth will continue to be not a major force in his life, though still there. So now we're going to go on to Gene. Gene. Well, okay. So I'm getting that October 12th, 2018 is Gene's soul chart date. Gene could possibly and probably be a lawyer if he wants. His thing is that he wants everything to be equal. You know, equality, love, and justice. Well, his main focus is equality. Scorpio, he's going to have a Scorpio moon. Again, getting him to do hatha yoga or tai chi or run or exercise is probably going to be good for him. His north node will be in Leo as well, retrograde. So whereas Archie will be good with kids and music and entertainment, Gene will also be applicable in that arena, though he'll have to. It won't just come to him. He'll have to work at it and work with it if he really wants to get involved in those arenas. His Mercury, which is both qualities, is in Scorpio. He'll have this ability to seduce people with just talking to them, just talking to you. And then his Venus is also, let's see, is also in Scorpio as well, but retrograde. So relationships with women or other people, I should say, will be could be very passionate on a regular basis. So he'll want, again, you'll want to work with him on relationships in terms, especially with Venus in retrograde. It won't, the good healthy relationships won't necessarily come to him. He'll have to really work with them and get it straight in terms of what a good healthy relationship is what isn't. Okay, so it's going to be like that. His Mars, again, is also in Aquarius. He'll tend to want to be a social bug, a cook, just like Archie. He'll have good. He'll want to be a good cook. They both have artistic endeavors or inspirations, magic and ceremony orders. So those are things that'll be in their lives, from time to time and whenever else. So both their Jupiters are in Scorpio. The Tai Chi, the Hatha Yoga, it's going to be really helpful for healing for the both of them in those arenas, with their sexual natures, and helping them heal other people in those arenas as well, I believe. Again, Gene, just as much as Archie, has the capability of being very famous, as long as he taps into his soul and really connects with his soul and learns what his soul is all about and evolves. And the more they both evolve, the more famous possible probability that they will be. And the more they will move mountains, with technology, with law enforcement, with politics. They both have the potential of getting heavily involved in politics and really doing something with their lives. So that would be good. Uranus is in Taurus. So as they evolve more and more and tap into their souls, they won't be fighting themselves as much. They won't be, getting in their way as much. As they get older, things life should get easier for them. The paranormal stuff, for both of them, they'll both be involved with paranormal, and as they get older, then that will wane down. Especially again, if as long as they're really getting in touch with their soul and working with their soul on the soul level rather than just the personality level, then they'll be fine. Now, again, the difference between Archie and Gene is that Pluto will be in Capricorn. Pluto is in Capricorn for his soul chart, which means the transformations and transcendence and popularity, fame, technology, money, politics, law enforcement is going to become more prevalent and more and greater for Gene than Archie. So while Archie will still make strides here and there, Gene will make bigger strides in those transformations as they both move on. So it's like that. So anyhow, there we go. That's all I'm getting right now. I'm just going to go ahead and finish up with the rest of my update. But of course, if you need or want any more information, or if you like this reading and you want to get your own, get a hold of me and we'll set something up. Stanton Friedman, again, rest in peace, and Doris, rest in peace. Now, I watched a number of movies the last couple of weeks or so, and one of the ones that I really liked that was pretty interesting, I'm pretty sure it was based on a true story. It was called The Perfect Game, just like The Perfect Storm with George Clooney. They were The Perfect Storm and The Perfect Game were both based on true story or true life experiences. So The Perfect Game involves Clifton Collins, and this is back in 2009. This movie came out. Clifton Collins Jr., Cheech Marin, Chin Chong. You remember that from years ago. Amelie de Ravin, Bruce McGill, Jake T. Austin. That movie is about these kids in Mexico, which was amazing. And this goes to show people that the spirit world and practices, spiritual practices, are real, and they're very beneficial. They can be very supportive, and they promote and help do miracles, right? So these kids, they've never played a game in their life, a baseball game, and what's his name, Colin Clifton Collins Jr. Is a washout in the sense of speaking of baseball player. I can't remember if he was a Red Sox. I think it was a Red Sox. But anyhow, he's a washout. He moves back to Mexico, and he's just doing his thing. He's working for the steel mill or whatever in town, and all these kids are out there, trying to find stuff to do, and they're just keeping out of trouble. And so anyhow, it turns out this guy ends up being their coach, and his coach from the United States, I believe, I don't know if it was Red Sox, but anyhow, he sent a bunch of material so they could start a baseball team, and so they start a baseball team, and he starts training these kids how to play baseball, right, for the little leagues, and so they end up going to California. Is it California? I can't remember, but anyhow, it was. But they end up going to the tryouts for the baseball league, and they end up winning, and they keep winning and keep winning, and pretty soon their visa runs out, and they just keep going anyhow, and somehow the Padre Cheech Marin, he goes with them, right, to help to say a prayer before every game. He says a prayer for the kids, and they go out and they win, right? So and then at some point, the cops catch up with these guys without their passports, and and they somehow get in touch with the politicians in Washington D.C. and they clear them for their visas or whatever, but except for everyone except for the priest. And they go, well, and so they kick the priest out, and they send him back home. And then the kids go, well, we're not going to play another game unless we get the prayers from our preacher. Well, some other preacher comes in, this other guy, and comes in, and he goes, well, I'm a preacher. I'll pray for you guys. They go, okay. So he prays for them, and he prays for them for the rest of the season, for the rest of the I don't want to say tryouts, but for the rest of the contest. So anyhow, he prays for them, and they keep winning, and they keep winning, and they keep winning. And at the very end, there's a number of things that transpire, and they end up winning the final. They end up becoming the champ, and I think they ended up becoming champs for another few years after that, or whatever. But anyhow, and I think a couple of them actually went on to the major leagues. I don't remember which one. But very interesting movie. It was very compassionate and very inspiring. So you got kids that have that are on baseball teams, or they're getting ready to get on the baseball team. This is the movie to watch. I guarantee you. So, and I rated that a 2 thumbs up. In fact, the rest of the movies that I'm going to be talking about, I rated them all 2 thumbs up, just because they're worth watching. Maybe a couple of them might be borderline, but I still threw them in there. The wedding date. This woman, she. Let me see. The wedding date. 2004. Deborah Messing, Amy Adams, and Dermot Mulrooney. Dermot Mulrooney is Roney. Is a gigolo, right? And Deborah Messing is going to her sister's wedding. She doesn't have a date, so she hires this gigolo, and all kinds of wacky things start happening, and at the wedding engagement and the bachelorette party and all that other stuff. So it was pretty funny. And this guy Dermot offers some advice to the other guys about women and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, thanks a lot." They're really happy about the advice. So, interesting movie to watch especially if you're getting ready to get married, or especially like you, Jennifer Lawrence, that's getting ready to get married. That would be a good movie for you to watch, because that's like Hot Tub Time Machine. Now, that was interesting in that these guys, and this was back when, 2010, John Cusack, Clark Duke, Craig Robinson, Rob Corddry, Chevy Chase, Lizzie Kaplan, Colette Wolfe. Um, it's a funny movie. It's just a funny movie. If you like get into slapstick, you're interested, and you don't want watch anything heavy or serious, that's a good movie to watch. Um, these guys jump into a hot tub. And the thing is, they can only go back into the future. And this is like a one-time thing, one time good time, Charlie type of thing. They go to the back in the future, and they see things that they didn't see when they were there and the first time around. So a bunch of stuff happens, and somehow they end up changing. One of the guys doesn't come back. He ends up staying there, and it changes their whole future into a whole different parallel universe, which is interesting to see how that happens. So, funny movie to watch. It's an older movie. Again, well, it's 2010, I guess. Did I say 2000? Yeah. Well, it's not too old, but it's still a funny movie. You see Transformers. Last night, I had already seen that. The technology that goes into that, and it's really a high action, intense movie to watch. So, of course, the Transformer movies are usually pretty interesting to watch. All this who was it? Well, Megatron gets kidnapped or held up by the people on his planet, and then he goes to Earth, and all kinds of wacky things happen. That's really cool. Radio Man. Now, Radio Man was interesting. It was a documentary about this guy. He was I can't remember. He did something when he was younger. He was a post office clerk, and interesting enough, he gives up that job. I don't know what happened, but somehow he was a postal clerk for several years, and then all of a sudden he says screw it and takes off. And I don't know if he decided to live in the streets or whatever. I think either way he was living in the streets for a while, and then and this was in New York. Most of this took place in New York, and that's where he's from, I believe. But he goes and tracks down all of the different movie sets that are going on in the city, right? He somehow figures out who's playing what, where, and all the movie sets going on. So he goes and visits them, and somehow he ends up getting popular with all the actors, right? He says hi to them and talks to them, but he talks to them in regular conversation, that type of thing, where he's just being real with them and just being straightforward with them and telling them all kinds of shit and this and that. And amazingly enough, this was hang on a second. What was the name? This guy, his name is Craig Castaldo, who I consider to be a Renaissance grassroots celebrity type of guy, who's a campy camper, and that's just that much. Pretty much all these celebrities go, yeah, this guy's happy all the time, and even through all the shit he's going through, he's still happy. He's literally endorsed by George Clooney, Matt Damon, Ron Howard, Cher, Tina Fey, Josh Brolin, Johnny Depp, Whoopi Goldberg, Tilda Swinton, Robin Williams, Meryl Streep, Jude Law, Eva Mendes, Helen Mirren, Tom Hanks, Sting, Alec Baldwin, and more. I mean, this guy, all these, you talk to all these celebrities, who's Radio Man? Oh, I know Radio Man, and they all know this guy. They all talk about him. So it's interesting, the camaraderie that is entertained because of this guy, because he's just a down to earth kind of guy who just grassroots Renaissance kind of guy that just talks to these guys, in their own language, in their own lingo, listen to speaking, and just connects with these people. So very interesting documentary. And then eventually he starts making enough money, and now that's another thing too. There's now one of the claims that he makes is that most or all the movies that he's actually in, and they show all these different movies, and you can see them in the background, right? That they become they become very popular, really good grossing movies, because with him, and these movies are with him in them. So I don't know if he's claiming to be a leprechaun or something, but it's like that. So anyhow, where else? Major Payne. Oh, that was a funny. Oh my God, that was a funny movie. Major Payne. Where is it at? Let me see. Time out. This is an older movie, 1995. Major Payne with Damon Wayans, Michael Ironside, and Karen Parsons. This guy, he was in the military for years and years, and somehow he gets kicked out or something happens, and he's out the door, and so he can't find a job. So some guy goes, well, we want you to go straighten out these kids. There's an ROTC program in some school, high school or something like that, grade school. And so they send him there, and he's still gun ho military. He's like he walks around like he has a corn cob up his butt, and but he had deals with these kids, and all these kids are like rejects. They're problem kids, problem child, and there's actually some pretty good wisdom in terms of how he deals with these kids, and it's pretty funny. But anyhow, and now some of the things now, and I gave it 2 thumbs up. I think the reason that I think I would want this to be 1 thumb up is because some of the stuff that he does in the movie you could never get away with in today's world. Never ever. I can't remember all the different things, but he yells at them. He makes them dress in women's clothes. All kinds of stuff that there's no way in hell you could get away with that. But again, this movie was done in 1995, so the mentality in terms of teaching and coaching back then is definitely not the same as it is now. So that's it. That was actually, I put it in 2 thumbs up, but I think I meant to put it in 1 thumb up. There's just a whole lot of stuff that you couldn't get away with in that movie, but it's still funny. What's the worst thing that could happen? Oh my God, what's his name? Time out. 2001. Martin Lawrence, Danny DeVito, John Louisiano, Glenda Headley, Carmen Ejogo, Bernie Mac, Nora Dunn. That was a funny movie. Um, this guy Danny Martin Lawrence goes and robs Danny DeVito, who's like this millionaire, and then he turns around and they call the cops and he gets caught, and then all of a sudden Danny DeVito steals his ring. He has this really nice ring that his girlfriend gave him, right? And he steals it from him, right there in front of the police. He goes, "Hey, that's my ring. Give me back my ring." And Martin Lawrence is going, "Of course, no, it's not. It's mine. I got it from my girlfriend." And the police go, "Well, you have to give it to him. It's his ring." So anyhow, the whole movie ends up being about this ring and getting it back, and so it's funny. Uh, let's see. And I don't remember if that was a borderline two thumbs up or one thumb, but it is what it is. I just give you two thumbs up section. Bottle shot. Oh, this was based on a true story as well about about these guys, and this was back when very interesting. 2008, 10 years ago, 11 years ago. Chris Pine, Alan Rickman, Bill Pullman, Freddie Rodriguez, Dennis Farina, Rachel Taylor. Oh my God, that was a very interesting movie. There's these guys in Paris. There's this guy who has a shop there, and sells wine there, and he's curious in terms of whether or not the United States has good wine or not. So he goes to the United States, looking all over for good wine. He goes to Napa Valley, of course, and he comes across these guys that do their own wine, and so he has a contest. He tells everybody, "I'm going to have a contest, a wine contest, and if you want me to if you want to enter, you give me some of your wine." But of course, he pays for the wine and whatever else. So he goes to all these different wineries and visits them and tastes their wine, and then collects a number of them, and then takes it back to Paris, and then holds. That's where the contest is held. So apparently, these guys, I can't remember the name of the wine company, but the main company, they end up winning the contest. So anyhow, and they ended up winning it several years in a row, and then um, and other people, from Paris are in disbelief. Their mouths are just like, "What? How can that happen?" And these people from California win the wine contest, so they're like blown away. And so to this day, there are a number of wine companies that produce just as good or better wine than people in Paris. So don't be fooled. The Peacemaker, that's an older movie, I believe, with George Clooney, Nicole Kidman, and Marcel Lures. Yeah, that's a really old movie. 1990. Again, they just don't make movies like they used to in back in the 90s. And again, everything it's either action packed or they have all these special effects. The whole movie is all about special effects, or the content is just written so shitty that there's stuff that are missing, or it's not logical that would even make sense, and they throw it in the movie anyhow. And all these movies these days. I just got done. I was gonna go watch the Avengers, the End Game, the 3-hour movie, and I just talked to my neighbor, and he said it wasn't. And I'm glad I didn't go watch it, because it's a 3-hour movie for me to sit that long and the movie, and then turn out that the movie is just not that great. It may have sold um, you know all kinds of tickets over the last weekend or whatever, but that doesn't mean that it's a high-end Academy Award-winning movie. Marketing is all marketing is all about everything. You can sell shit in a paper bag, and if you market it well, you can become a millionaire just from selling that. It's all about marketing. So whether the end game is that good or not, I don't know. Again, I how many there's you can only come up with so many heroes, superheroes. But so what? What do they really teach you? Again, there's these special effects and there's technology. That's interesting, and that alone can make the movie. But if they don't teach you anything, anything wise, masters and saints, they don't go around trying to get you to worship them. That's not what their objective is. They go around trying to teach you how to help yourself, that they go around showing you how to help yourself, and that's their major interest. And all these superhero movies, do they really teach you how to help yourself? Do they really? Come on, look at any one of those movies and find out that what are they about? They're about the future. They're about technology, all these super ways to beat up somebody or something and get rid of bullies and bad guys, right? So what? If, if, Anyhow, I'm gonna move on. And that's the Peacemaker was kind of like that. Well, actually, the Peacemaker was interesting, especially when you get into computers and how computers were developed back in the day. And wow, you got some old dinosaur computers in that movie, and it's just beyond me how things have evolved since then. But but even so, that the movie the computers are older. It doesn't matter because even today, the glitches in computers could still be pretty radical, pretty amazing if they get into the wrong hands or something, they get in the wrong subroutines or whatever. There's still things that can happen with computers, and they still aren't perfect. But again, in the future, they're still going to be refined even more and more and more. So we'll see what happens. Little Italy, it's a close little knit group of people, family and friends that cook all these pizzas in all these restaurants, right? And so the one of the girls, she takes off for college, comes back, and then falls in love with her high school or her schoolmate, whom they hung out with each other all the time, and so they get involved with each other and all this stuff. They have this contest going on with pizza contest. Oh man, I'll bet you those pizzas were tasted like out of this world. I don't eat much pizza these days because I just don't get into pizzas very much anymore. But if I had one of their pizzas, gourmet pizza, oh my god, I'd probably eat the whole thing by myself. I wouldn't even think twice about it. Anyhow, it's a love story type of thing. Romeo and Juliet type of thing. The Perfect Storm, again with George Clooney. In let me see, hang on a second. Little Italy just came out last year. Emma Roberts, Hayden Christensen, Alyssa Milano, James Seymour, and then The Perfect Storm. George Clooney. That came out 2000, based on a true story of these fishermen: Mark Wahlberg, Diane Lane, John C. Reilly, William Fichtner, John Hawkes, Alan Payne. This guy, George Clooney, takes a boat out and he grabs his team. They go out into the ocean, and all of a sudden this hurricane occurs. And the thing is that George Clooney, his character, the boss gets pissed off at him because he's not bringing in as many fish as his other people are, and so he decides he wants to prove them wrong once and for all. And they take off, and they go to the other side of the ocean, and they got all these fish, and then the ice maker breaks down. The ice maker breaks down, and so they go, and so they all of a sudden there's this hurricane, so they can't just stay there. Otherwise, the fish are going to be bad. Otherwise, they're going to lose out on $250,000 or whatever. And so they go, well, we're going to go ahead and go through that hurricane and get home. So they decide to do that. Wrong move. It was a lot more than they could handle, and all of them ended up dying and getting killed at the end, which is kind of sad. But they died doing the things they really love to do. So it is what it is. Days of Thunder. That's an older movie. Tom Cruise, Robert Duvall, Nicole Kidman, Randy Quaid, Michael Rooker, John C. Reilly again. He was also The Perfect Storm. 1990, this movie came out, and very intense kind of movie, and just very down to earth. I think is a good word for it. Racers. Tom Cruise becomes a racer, and all this stuff happens, and he ends up racing this other guy who's a real prick, and kicking his ass. Anyhow, coach. Hugh Dancy, Jonathan Eutherius, Leanne Balaban, Manny Goomer, David Zayas, Michael Shermas. This guy, he's like really well off, really rich. He doesn't even have to work, and one of his girlfriends breaks up with him for whatever reason. So he goes, well, I'm going to get a job, and I'll get her back. I'll do my work, and then I'll get her back. So he decides to become a coach, and somehow ends up coaching these kids, and they, ends up being they're basically much more than just a coach. Their dad, their mom, everything else, because the kids are all going through all kinds of crap, and so they end up going to again the World Series, the Junior World Series or whatever it's called, and I don't think they won. I don't know that they won at the end. I don't think they did, but wait, was it soccer? Hang on, time out. I gotta look this up. I think it was soccer. They were playing. I for some reason I was thinking baseball, but I'm not sure that it was baseball. I think no, it was soccer. Okay. So anyhow, he ends up becoming a soccer coach for them, and they end up, he ends up helping the kid, some of the kids get along better with their parents at the very end of stuff. That's the moral of the story. A book club. Now, book club was actually better than I thought it was going to be. But it came out last year. Diane Keaton, Jane Fonda, Candice Bergen, Mary Steinbergen, Andy Garcia, John Johnson, Craig T. Nelson, Richard Dreyfuss, Alicia Silverstone. Anyhow, it had a pretty good lineup of celebrities in it, and one of the things that was notable that I really liked about the movie, of course, they have this book club and all this stuff, all this romance goes on, all this stuff goes on. There was another movie that I watched. It was just like it. It was just almost exactly like this movie, but anyhow, different people. That's all. Now, if you ever watch a lot of the movies from, especially the UK, from the England, they incorporate a lot of good music into their movies, and that's what makes a lot of their movies really good. It's really like it's not like really lame, boring movies. They have really good music, and that's what this movie had in it. A lot of really good music. I can't remember all the songs but they really had a lot of really good music, and also the some I don't know how much they shot of it in Sedona, but a lot of the movie was shot in Sedona, which I thought was interesting. Huh, that was interesting, and you can see the background, the red rocks in the background. So they have some nice backdrops and all kinds of stuff going on. So that was interesting, and I don't know, it was just a fun a movie to watch, especially if you want to watch movies on relationships and stuff like that. War games. I think that's a one thumb up. It's an older movie with Matthew Broderick and Ali Sheedy, Dabney Coleman, John Wood, Barry Corbin, back in 1983. Back then, it probably would have been a two thumbs up movie, but it's just an older movie, and again involved with computers, old computers, and all of a sudden these computers get out of whack and starts playing this game, war game, and on its own, and that gets really scary, and then they finally figure out a way to defuse it instead of blowing up the world. That the game finally shifts, and if the computer starts playing itself or something like that. But interesting back then it would have been an interesting concept in terms of how things would operate in this day and age, but or in that day and age, I should say. And so it's just kind of an intense movie. But I think I just because it's an older movie, I think I give it a one thumb up instead of two. Middleman, oh my God, that was another movie based on a true story on these guys that introduced a payment plan or payment on the internet. They loaded up all these nudie pictures, and then they create this like membership type of thing, and all of a sudden they become millionaires literally overnight. It was just amazing, just the crap that went on, but it was pretty intense. And then this other guy, then they don't know how to run a business. So what's his name? This is this came out in 2009. It's actually an older movie still. Luke Wilson, Kevin Pollak, James Caan, Jacinda Barrett, Laura Ramsey, Terry Crews, Giovanni Ribisi, Gabriel Mock. This is actually an older movie, but it's still very valid in this day and age, right? People are still taking payments on the internet in much different ways than back then. So, but these guys were idiots. They didn't really, maintain a professional demeanor or lifestyle. They really, they snorted all their money through cocaine and all this other shit. And what can you do? And that happens with a lot of people. They become rich overnight. They become, and I'm saying rich, not wealthy. Wealth is money that's been around for years and years and years, and people are really rich in that way. But becoming rich is something that happens overnight. Within the last 6 months or so, or last year or so, all somebody becomes rich, and a lot of people, when they come into money, a lot of money, millions of dollars, they don't know how to deal with that. It's amazing. Being wealthy is a completely different culture than being impoverished or even being rich. Being wealthy and being rich are not necessarily the same thing. They may actually involve the same amount of money, but it doesn't matter. When you're wealthy, you learn how to control your spending. You know how to invest. You learn how to spend money wisely or in a good, healthy way. So it's a different program, and a lot of people that become rich, they just don't know how to handle it. So that's what happened to these guys, and they ended up screwing themselves in the end. Pretty pathetic. So now there's some other movies that I watched that were one thumb up. I considered them one of them. The Squeeze, white, who's that with? Michael Keaton, Ray, Don Chong, um, and that was okay. That's an older movie. That's 1987. They get involved with Michael Keaton is this artist, this engineer. He creates all this stuff, electronic stuff, gadgets and stuff, and you get into a whole lot of trouble because he rips the guy off or something like that. And it was okay. I wasn't incredibly, on my seat at the edge. I'm at the edge of my seat with that movie, but it was okay. White Coats, about these doctors, these interns, at Roadhouse with Patrick Swayze. That's an older movie, 1989. The White Coats is 2004 with Dan Aykroyd, Linda Boyd, Christine Shaitlin, Ingrid Cavallard, Jane McLean, Carly Pope, Pat Kelly, Viv Leacock, and Peter O'Brien. And then Roadhouse, Patrick Swayze, Kelly Lynch, and Sammy Elliott. I think I guess Roadhouse is more like a cowboy movie. Everybody shoots everybody and beats everybody up, and they have this whole rowdy brawl that takes place in the bar and blah blah blah. And my hero Patrick Swayze kicks so and so's ass, blah blah blah, and just, it's ongoing. The battles that keep going because people don't want to stop. They don't want to accept the pride. They don't want, and that's how the way the world is or can be. There's always somebody bigger, right? No matter what, there's always somebody bigger. No matter who you are, what you do, where you're at, what goes on, there's always somebody bigger. Anyhow, but it was pretty intense. Roadhouse. Now the movie that I do want to talk about, The Wandering Earth. And this was the new movie that came out from China just about a week and a half ago or so. Netflix paid what, $6 million or billion? I don't know. They paid an astronomical amount of money. Apparently, it was really popular in China. So they go, oh, we're going to buy it and we're going to show it here in the United States, and so I did. I went and watched it, and it was interesting because of the technology. The movie reminded me of a combination of Armageddon and Avatar. The toys, these vehicles that they're driving are really like incredibly huge Tonka toys, trucks, and with huge wheels, just like in Avatar. They had that movie, and now the thing is that they somehow managed to spring Earth out of its axis and get it something. It's supposed in the movie the Earth is gonna go into the sun and melt or be destroyed or burn up or whatever, and so they get the Earth to propel towards Jupiter, towards the outside of the solar system or whatever. But is that possible? Is that real? Is that even if if that happened, that would screw up our whole solar system. The other planets probably would completely go out of whack. All kinds of shit would happen, and I think it would throw the whole solar system off, and the solar system could probably be destroyed. It's undetermined what would happen, but I don't think it will just go unnoticed. Oh, here goes Earth. They're propelling it to the outskirts of the solar system. Oh, I don't know how in the hell they're doing that, but okay, fine. And so, and then if you look at the scenes, some of the scenes, all these big trucks are driving, but to where? Where are they going? There's no cities. There's no underground things. I mean, in the movie it shows underground cities and whatever, but you know, you look at them and they're showing these scenes. They look like a bunch of bugs going in the same direction, or whatever. It's just kind of weird. So anyhow, there are some interesting concepts that they presented. I still don't consider it an Academy Award winning movie. And there was some cheesy stuff. Again, there's some cheesy stuff in there that I don't know how they came up with that, but whatever. So I give it a 1 thumb up. And then the other movie, the last movie that I want to talk about, is Cadillac Man. Sorry, Robin Williams, but you know, this is an older movie, 1990. Robin Williams, Tim Robbins, Fran Drescher, Pamela Reed. He's a salesman. Robin Williams is a salesman, and he goes and he has to sell all these cars. Otherwise, they're gonna fire him. Blah blah blah. And then Tim Robbins is a jealous boyfriend who's involved with Fran. I think his girlfriend is Fran Drescher. Fran Drescher or someone, maybe Pamela Reed. But anyhow, this idiot comes in with a shotgun and can't even figure out what he's gonna do. You know, all of a sudden the police come in, they're surrounded, and he goes, "Well, I don't know, what to do." You know, it's really getting stupid. And in fact, I didn't even finish watching the movie. It was just lame, but that's so. So anyhow, I hope y'all enjoyed your Mother's Day weekend, and you had and for those of you graduating, congratulations. It's starting. It was, I think, rained a little bit here about a couple of days ago, but it's been cloudy off and on. Today was a nice day. It's actually a perfect day just to walk around, especially if you'd like to go hiking. Great day for hiking. You know, it's overcast, but it's still it's warm enough and that you can go hiking and break a sweat, but it's not cold enough that you'll freeze your toes off. Nice day. Anyhow, again, if you want to get a hold of me for reading, I just, for those of you that have checked out my website, and I don't know if it's something screwed up on it, and that you can let me know. I'm okay with that. But there's a bunch of stuff screwed up, so I had to go back and really straighten out a lot of stuff on it, and so everything should be pretty good working order. In case you want to book me for a reading, healing session, a mentoring program, or speaking engagement. So anytime you're ready, I'm ready. Just get hold of me. Give me a holler. That's the boy. You know, thanks for stopping by. Have a God guided week. Be the love that you are, always have been, and always will be. Aloha.